Hey, welcome back with 52 Biscuits this evening. We're going to make something, I still hadn't made this one yet. We're going to make cranberry and orange biscuits with cranberry and with some orange zest. So the first thing we're going to do is I have the oven preheating, and we're going to start as usual with our 2 cups of self-rising flour. This is White Lily because I just like the way it cooks at my house. And I'm not packing the flour or anything like that. So just so you know. And then I need some shortening. You can use shortening or butter, whatever your flavor is. That's a little over a quarter cup. But if you've been making, you use your favorite recipe with your making biscuits. All right. Then we'll get this mixed in here pretty good. This is just the way you start making out just your plain biscuits. All right. And since we're making cranberry and orange zest, that's like one of the flavors of Christmas, I'm not going to add a lot of sugar because I know that we want the flavors of the cranberries and the flavors of the orange to come out really good. So if you're wondering, this is a quarter cup, and I'm barely using a half of this. So maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on how sweet you would like them. Because after these are cooked and we have a taste, we're going to make something else out of them too. So you can always be creative in making these. All right, let's make a mess. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna get flour all down in these. I didn't mean to. That's not so bad. This just on the top. So I'm going to start with a good rounded cup, and we're going to see what that looks like. And if that's not enough, if you like cranberries, feel free to add some more, please. Doesn't look like many right there. And when I'm making chocolate chip biscuits, I would put even more than that. If they seem stuck together, break them apart. Not a problem. That's 3 of them right there. Yep. And I'd a whole lot rather have cranberries. I know people like raisins. Save the raisins for something else, like just to eat. Don't put them in a cookie. It messes up a really good cookie. The other thing, I've not used this is brand new, and these kind of things scare me to death because I cut myself a lot. Not too bad, but I do. I scuff my knuckles and everything. This is what I washed my orange and I dried it off so that it's nice and clean. Okay, and a lot of folks when they're making, if you look at recipes for cranberry and orange zest bread, they use usually about a tablespoon. This is why I look at my knuckles. They're right there on it. And it just scares me. I don't know why. If you've ever scraped your knuckles on something like this, you'll know that that's just not fun. It's really not. You're supposed to use, whoops. We'll clean that up later too. That's why we have fun. In the holidays, make a mess. Make sure that if you have kids, make sure they're in there making a mess with you. Man, that smells really good. And since it smells really good, I'm going to put just a little bit more. And we'll have to eat that later. That's going to be delicious. I may actually, I might make something to put on the biscuits with with that a little later. Okay, so this is probably this. I know this is more than a tablespoon, and it probably doesn't need that much. But if you like the flavors of all of this, it's going to be delicious. When it gets in there, it's going to start heating up, cooking, and it's going to just permeate the biscuit. It's going to be delicious. Okay. Oh, time to add some milk. So, because I have a lot in there, I'm gonna start out. You know what? I want to get those oranges too. Don't want to waste any. All right. So I'm going to start out with a half a cup. Yeah, I know it poured out, but that's okay because we're going to turn this out on the countertop. So let's see what it looks like. Yep. We're going to put another. We'll put another half a cup in there, or we're going to start maybe almost a half a cup. That's probably going to be enough. Oh, yeah. That's perfect. Now, once you have it mixed up like that, you can see how many cranberries, and you can see some of that orange zest. So that is just going to be some awesome flavors. Oh, yeah. All right, so we'll put a little flour on this and turn it out onto the countertop. Wow, I wish this was like a scratch and sniff because I'm telling you, this is almost tasted that. If you're in your own kitchen, it's okay to taste it. It doesn't have eggs or anything in it, and I know that dough is going to be so good. You can have some as you're cleaning up. We'll scrape the bowl and get some of that with this. This is awesome. All right, so I'm using the next large. Well, hang on a second. I'm using my larger one because of what we're going to be doing a little bit later with some of the biscuits. And if you'll notice, whenever I cut these out, sometimes it may not go all the way through. That's because it's on top of a cranberry on the edge, and that's okay. Don't worry about it. Those are gonna cook, and they're gonna taste awesome. Not a problem. And if you want, if it's not looking like you want it, I'll do that on this one. Okay, you see how well if this one was dangling off. If they're dangling off, just slide them up under, and they'll cook up under the biscuit. Not a problem. Almost lost one. All right. There's one. See, there's another one. It's on the edge, so I'm just going to put it up under it. These would be really good if you're having guests over for a light, maybe not a dinner, but just like a finger food kind of meal. And these could be served with tea or with hot cocoa. Or once we figure out something to do with the others, I'll show you. I think we're going to make 2 more out of this. Yep. We're going to do this one. What do you know? An even 10. I counted right this time. Look at that. So we have 10. We'll put these in the oven. Here we go. We're going to let those cook. We'll check on them in a little bit just to make sure they're rising and they're doing great. And while those are in the oven, we're going to clean up the kitchen. We're going to melt some chocolate. And then we may make a little drizzle to go across the some of the biscuits. Not all of them, but just to see what they taste like. All right. So I'm going to clean up and we'll see you back in just a few minutes. Okay, we cleaned the kitchen, cleaned the dishes. I cleaned the carton of milk because sometimes I get milk on the carton.
You get milk on the carton.
I get flour on the carton. I learned it from the Queen. My mom she used to get milk on, she used to get flour on everything. All right, so, oh man, these look wonderful. These look wonderful. So what I'm going to do is I'll put them over here. I'll turn the oven off. These are going to cook. Oh man, those smell really good. Whew. All right. And just because we wanted to, man, those smell good. This was with the orange juice. I just put just enough orange juice in here with some powdered sugar just to make a little bit of drizzle that we could put over. Not a heavy one like you would put icing on one of the biscuits, but just to drizzle over one. Let's just see. Just to see what it looks like. I like the way that's going to be really good. I'm not going to do all of them like this because I have another plan that we're gonna use these with. But you can serve them like this. If you're going to just serve them like this, you could probably make them a little smaller. The reason I made these larger is because eventually I'm going to slice these up. I'll show you what I'm going to do with my sharp knife. So with my sharp knife, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these in pieces about 1/2 inch thick. So the largest biscuit I can get it maybe 5 pieces out of. And then I'm going to turn them over on their sides. And I'm going to stick them back in the oven. Look how pretty that is, the colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut several of these up. And I'm going to stick them back in the oven. I'll let them get a little brown. And we're going to make them like biscotti. And then we're going to dip them in some chocolate. So, but before we do that, we really do need to see what these taste like. This is the one with the glaze. Oh, yeah, look at that. With the cranberries, there's not too, well, can you have too many cranberries? And you can still see some of the orange. And it smells like Christmas. It's wonderful. Oh, wow. It's just barely enough sugar to take away some of the bite from the orange. It is very light. But that is delicious. I may not cut up very many to put in there because I know they're going to be really good. But when I do that, I'll turn the oven down to about 200 because I don't want them to get brown. I just want them to get, I want them to get crunchy, kind of like a crouton, kind of like Melba. Well, not as hard as Melba toast, but those are going to be awesome. And while those are in there, we'll be having our little Christmas party here at our house. And then dipping them in chocolate is something the kids would be able to do if you melt the chocolate and then let them help. But all this part you would probably want to do yourself. All right. So we'll see you back once these are done and we start dipping some in chocolate. All right. See you in a few minutes. Okay, so here's just another part of the yummy stuff about celebrating Christmas and the holidays and making stuff. So we cut the biscuits up. We stuck them back in the oven to let them get a little crispier. And if you look at them, you can tell that they're not. We didn't want to brown them because they're as brown as we want them to be. And now what we're going to do is we're going to dip them in our melted chocolate. I'm probably going to have to eat the crumbs later. That looks delicious. And the reason I'm not throwing those away is because there'll probably be some chocolate left over, and I'll just put that in the bowl and eat it like candy. This is the Ghirardelli, the white vanilla flavored melting wafers. They're easy to work with, and what I'm going to do is just simply press them, and I'll make it look a little smoother. And that's about all we're going to do and then we'll put them here. And what we're going to do is it's going to wind up being like Biscotti, except this is going to be with biscuits. And it's going to be awesome. Biscuit Biscotti. Oh, yeah. So whoops. I guess if it gets stuck on them, that's okay too, because I can't help it. This is just going to be delicious. So let me go ahead. I'll go ahead and finish this, and we'll let you see what it looks like when they're all done. They're going to be awesome. So hang on just a second. All right. Wow. I can't wait. So the rest of the crumbs I just put in here, and I'm just going to mix this up, and I'm going to put it right here, and that's going to be just a nice little wonderful piece of candy. And the rest of it, I'm just going to put on a spoon and let it cool off. And that's going to be a little treat too. Why waste it? You know, I'm in a dilemma. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, those to me look delicious. And if you're gonna make some of these biscuits, you might want to make a double recipe. That way you can have some of the just regular biscuits with some of that little bit of a glaze on them. But these, now the chocolate hadn't set up all the way on them, but
oh man.
Wow. Now, if I didn't have self-control and I had some hot chocolate, I could split these with Susan. But we'd have to flip for the last one. I would recommend this. If you have now you would have to, on the biscuits, when they come out, before they get cold, and if you have a really sharp knife, just cut them up in these pieces, and then just lay them back on your pan, stick them back in the oven and reduce the heat, and just get them to where they're about the consistency of a crouton. Not like really hard and crunchy, but well enough that they'll hold up to being dipped in some melted chocolate and set up like this. And this is really good. The orange, the cranberries, just enough crunch. Wow. This is another one I'd probably give 2 thumbs up to. This was, and it's really easy. It's making some biscuits, cutting them, and just cooking them. The only thing that really takes a little bit of time and patience is to cut the biscuits instead of smashing them into pieces. You can't do that. If you smashed them, then you would have to just crumble them up and then just make pieces like this. Just mix them up with some chocolate. But it would still be delicious, okay? Well, that'll do for this video. I look forward to sharing the next one with you. We're getting closer to the holidays with Christmas and New Year's coming up. We've got a lot more biscuits to make. So until then, enjoy.